Hi, welcome to Writings and Lessons. This channel provides content for anybody wanting to play piano using the Nashville number system. Lesson 1 teaches from the perspective that you've never played before and then builds throughout the lessons. This is the 16th lesson and it is the second in a series of teaching 7th chords. So if you've never played before and this is the first lesson that you've watched, I highly recommend that you go back to lesson 1 and watch all of the lessons because it'll make a lot more sense than starting with this lesson. So let's get started and learn about major 7th chords. When we're talking about 7th chords, we are adding a 4th note to our chord. So far, we've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's been 3 notes. 7th chords add a 4th note and it embellishes the chord. It makes it sound nicer. And depending on the type of 7th chord you play, helps to distinguish the chord you're playing next. And also some of these chords are more common depending on the style of music. When you're playing a 1 chord or any major chord, you have 2 options for 7th chords. You can play a major chord with a major 7, which that's in our that's in the scale, the C major scale. Or you can play a 1 major chord and make the 7 minor, which takes the 7 to the B flat. So C, E, G, B flat. In Nashville, in the number system, this is called a 7th chord. They don't say it's a major chord with a minor 7. They call this a 7th chord, and it's documented like this, where there's a 7 written where an exponent would be, like this. This was discussed in detail in lesson 15 in our last lesson. If you're playing a major 7 chord, C, E, G, B, it's documented with a triangle where an exponent would be. So it's C, E, G, B is how you spell the chord. It sounds odd. This would be more common in songs, definitely in jazz. I use this chord a lot in the Chestnut Song at Christmas, in White Christmas. And typically I move the notes around, and this will be taught more in a future lesson. So the notes are C, E, G, B. The way I usually play it, and it's a hack, it's an easier way to play it. I grab the B down here, and since I'm playing the C note with my left hand, it still sounds, it still is a major 7. I've just moved the B down here, and it's easier to play because you're just playing 3 notes versus 4. So this is the major 7. Here I have a 4 major 7. So again, the theory is F, A, C, E, that's the 4 major 7. But just like we did here, I'm going to grab this E with my thumb and I'll play the 4 like I always do with my left hand. And it's just easier to play 3 notes instead of grabbing that 4th note with your pinky. So again, 1 major 7, 4 major 7, and we have another 1 major 7, another 4 major 7 in the 3rd line of the chart. Just to review, this 1 7, which would be how it would be communicated in Nashville, we've added the B flat. You can move that B flat with your thumb and play it like this. So again, the chord is spelled C, E, G, B flat I'm just grabbing that B flat with my thumb, and I'm moving my other fingers up a little bit in order to play the B flat. So that these two fingers, I'm moving them up so that they're all, it's just easier to play like that. We have a 5-7 here. 5, it's just a 5-7, which is the 5 triad with a minor 7. Again, I can just grab this note, the F, with my thumb, and it's actually playing a 7 with in the bass. Back here to 1 major 7. Here we're moving to a minor 7 chord, to a 7 chord with which is in theory a minor 7th note, over 3, 4 major 7, 1, back to 6 again, 1 over 5. So when there's a line, it's a split bar. This was taught in an earlier lesson, and there is a list in the lesson summary that tells where all of these chords are taught, just so that if you need to go back and review, you can. Because there's 3 beats in every measure, which is documented in the time signature, this is telling you how to play which chords get which beat. So 1 with my right hand, a 5 note with my left, 1, 2, 3. So this gets 2 beats, the 5 gets 3. The left hand is just going to stay on the 5. 1, 2, 3, back to 1. One more thing that I will point out, the 2 is a 2 major because there's not a dash. When there's a dash, it always means that it's a minor chord. This 2 is spelled D, F sharp, A. There were 2 past lessons that described and introduced minor chords and major chords. Again, that's documented in the lesson summary. I'm going to play through this one more time and talk through it, and then we'll play it again with my daughter Chloe singing the vocal, and we'll also use a metronome for the next time. So I'm just going to start 1 major 7, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm moving my thumb to the minor 7, 1, 2, 3. 4 major 7, 1, 2, 3. Back to a 1 chord without a 7th note. 1, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3. A 2 major. 1, 2, 3. 5. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm adding a 7th chord with my thumb and a 7 note with my left hand. 1, 2, 3. Back to a 1 major 7. 1, 2, 3. Minor 7 with the 1 chord, a 3 note in the bass. 1, 2, 3. 4 major 7. 1, 2, 3. Back to a 1 chord. 1, 2, 3. 6 minor. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 5 chord for the 3rd beat. 3 again. This is 1, 2, 3. The last 2 bars are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. My daughter's going to sing this, and I have the metronome set at 3/4 time, and the tempo is 67. 1, 2, 3.
Amazing grace, how sweet the me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
I know the chart today is more complex than charts that we've had in the past, but the lesson handout that can be accessed in the link below this video lists each lesson where everything's taught. So it lists the lesson where split bars are taught, the lesson where major minor chords were taught, etc. So feel free to go back and review those lessons if you need to. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, comment if you have questions. All of those things help promote the channel so that more people can see the content, and if they're interested, learn to play piano using the number system. Have fun practicing, and we will continue talking about seventh chords in the next lesson. Goodbye.